Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about the mechanical layers of the Earth, and we're going to be filling out this part right here. So you can have this out in front of you if you would like to, otherwise you don't have to, and we'll be filling them out right in this section. So the mechanical layers of the Earth, let me move this, there are 5 main layers to this one, and we break them up based off of how it behaves or moves. So basically their physical characteristics. We really look at density here as well, and kind of how they move and what they're made up of. Not as far as elements, but if they're rocky or if they're liquid or something like that. The order of these layers are the lithosphere, the asthenosphere, the mesosphere, the outer core, and the inner core. And we use an acronym or something for you to write off to the side if you want to try to remember them. And that is it. And again, we look at the physical makeup, so those physical properties to help us identify each one of these and how they're broken up. So let's start with the first one. The first one is the lithosphere. The lithosphere is considered the rock section of the layers. It is made up of the crust and the uppermost mantle. Okay, it's a little bit thicker. It is the least dense, and that's why it's at the top, and that's why it's the outermost layers, because it is the least dense, but however, it is extremely rigid. The reason why it's rock and not a liquid, and it's also rigid, is because of the low temperatures in this layer. The next layer is the asthenosphere. The asthenosphere flows due to convection currents. So if you look here in this visual, the asthenosphere has what we call convection currents. And we've learned about that in thermal energy and how heat transfers. And so basically, that asthenosphere is going to move in these currents. And as it does that, it's actually going to move the crust. And that's how we get our tectonic plates and how our tectonic plates moves, which we'll get into a little bit further. I can move this over a little bit. So as you can see in this section of the asthenosphere, there are those very intense convection currents. So that's the biggest thing you need to know for this layer, is that how this layer behaves because of the convection currents. I will also post this video right here below as another video attached to this section, just so that you can watch it later. Then we have the mesosphere. So the mesosphere is the middle section. It is the strong lower part of the mantle between the asthenosphere, which is located here, and the outer core, which is located here. And you can see the mesosphere is mainly made up of the mantle. It's the entire mantle, except minus the asthenosphere and part of the lithosphere. It has extremely high temperatures. It's rocky. And it's going to be that molten rock as well. The next one we have is the outer core. The outer core. The outer core is so hot that the metals in it are all in liquid states. You can see it surrounds this whole section right here. Surrounds that inner core, and it's estimated to be about 2,300 kilometers thick. So again, you can see how in this is a really good visual of how these layers are sectioned out. The next one we have is going to be the inner core. Let me move this up here. The inner core is the innermost layer of the Earth. It has extremely high temperatures and a lot of pressure. So think about the core and all the layers that are on top of it. Think about all these layers and the amount of pressure that must be on the core at that point. Due to that extreme temperature and that extreme amount of pressure, the inner core is actually a solid. The pressure is so great that the metals are, when they're squeezed together, they're unable to move like a liquid. So they're forced to vibrate in place like a solid. And that is why the innermost layer is also the densest. And it's a complete solid because of all that pressure and that high heat. So here are your notes. You can pause here if you want to write these in. Again, we're going to get more practice with this as we go on. Throughout the module, you'll be more familiar with these layers. So make sure you keep going on this. And you can go ahead and at the end of this, you can exit out of here and click the next button on the Canvas page. And if you have any questions pertaining to this discussion board, to this lesson, you can go to the discussion board and answer them there. But don't forget to take the little quick